Howdy, lads and lassies. All right, so here's the deal. I am in the market for a new pickup truck, and I've been looking around, and I've decided on a 2500 Ram or a Ford F-250. One of those two things. The reason for that is I'm doing a build that we're gonna call it the Elk. I'm doing it with the guys from Roamer, R-O-A-M-R. I Am Roamer is their Instagram. I'll link that down below. They have a rad YouTube channel too. Go check that out. Because I like their style, everything else. But the guy who's going to do all the work on my next pickup truck, and the guy who's done all the work on my current truck, is my neighbor in Lake Arrowhead. So I own a second home up in Lake Arrowhead here in California. And if we could live there, we would live there. My wife and I love it, and my kid loves it, and got a ski boat up there, and you know, more to come on that. And there's actually a video of me on that boat catching a smallmouth bass on a 7-inch sly guy. I'll put it here, there, here, there. There's one up here. So Rob is my neighbor in Lake Arrowhead, and I just randomly moved next to the guy who, in my opinion, as well as some of my friends in the Jeep community's opinion, this guy builds some of, if not the gnarliest Jeeps like around in Southern California. I know all the cool hipster shops in the overland world and stuff like that. And like the way he kind of explained it, he's like, yeah, man, they're just taking stuff that other people made and bolting it on. This guy goes into crazy stuff like custom valving for that car, and sometimes like he has one Jeep that's just built for Moab. He puts LS engines in these things. It's insane the amount of work and kind of the brain this guy has for the geometry of, you know, these Jeeps is on a whole nother level. So Rob's my buddy. I'm here to see him today. I'm gonna give you guys a little tour of his shop, show you some of his Jeeps, what makes them different, and we're just gonna go from there, have some fun. Then we're gonna head up to Lake Arrowhead, do some fishing. I got all my cool swim baits right here, you know, and my rods and everything, and I got to shovel a bunch of snow today, and so it's gonna be a fun day. But we're starting off here at Redlands Motorsports. Let's go. You walk in this place and you just see things like this.
Yeah, you like your cell phone. I saw that, like, when you're in like sand or dirt, it like converts, it like knows if you're in sand or dirt, and it puts a display up right there. Have you seen that one?
SDI?
I don't know if it's SDI.
Yeah, it's probably SDI.
It was like another country had it.
I don't even know. It's just, it's a whole nother level. It's just so rad. I like these two.
Dude, I
Let's look under here.
Travis on through the internet that the guy T-boned.
What? And just so cool.
Still ran.
And that, I think, is one of these. He's got like tons of these, just sitting all around the shop. But this is the kind of Jeep Rob builds. I mean, this cockpit, you just can't. I think these are all the different lockers, stuff like that. So you got the big screen, and then some Lowrance thing here, and then S-Pods, radio, all the rock lights. And this thing's ridiculous. Thing's ridiculous. So, yeah. I mean, what size tires is?
42s.
42s.
Yeah.
Because 40s are too small. Look at this little mountain goat they built here. Little two-door. Yep. I mean, this is the way rock sliders are supposed to look. You know what I'm saying? So apparently to this one, they're doing a full cage that they built and designed for it. So pretty tough looking cage for this guy. I guess he's an old guy that Jeeps out here hard. You can see his winch is getting used. The things are used. So Rob also makes all this under armor things, stuff here. You go in. It's got all these kind of deals. This little logo there. And pretty dope. Last time I was in here, now here he's got like a bunch of transmissions, but he had a rock crawler back here. I don't see it here anymore. But just transmissions on transmissions on transmissions. I guess that's something they do a lot of, apparently. The last time in these two lifts, he had his buggy, but the buggy I think is out at Easter Jeep right now. So pretty cool shop. So when I first met Rob, this is what was in his driveway. Now I am 6'4", and the headlights of this Jeep come to about here on me. This is his Gladiator, and it's insane. It's on, ooh, brand spanking new Maxxis 42s. He valves all these shocks himself, so the thing is actually drivable. This guy will fly down the hill in Arrowhead and do like 90 on the freeway. I know, because I've been with him when he's doing it, and it's a trip. It's amazing. But you got these giant Curry axles, hydraulic steering. Just, you know, this winch saved our buddy Ali, the Kings, and he has all those Kings valved, like custom valved, which is crazy. And then a big old slider. And back here, it's just kind of amazing. So there's Rob. Here he is. Man? I'm talking about your Jeep.
Right on,
Hi, Rob.
brother.
So this is Rob. He's my neighbor in Arrowhead. And like I just said, I was just telling them, before I met you, this was what was in your driveway.
Right.
And I was like, who lives next to me? This is awesome. And I have a picture still, I'm gonna find it, of my daughter standing next to this.
The tire, yeah.
When she was like 2.5 or 3 years old. And she's not even as tall as the tire. It was pretty cool, but.
What's happening?
Good, how are you doing?
All right. Yeah, little monster.
So Rob, how did you start Redlands Motorsports? Why did you start Redlands Motorsports, and how long have you been here?
Been here about 10 years and started it just because it's fun, and that's what we like to do, fun stuff.
Yeah, that's
Right?
awesome. But you started off as a tire place, right?
Well, we still have the tire place over there, yeah.
Yeah. So Rob basically has this entire huge complex here. It's like, it's his, but Redlands Motorsports, after the tire place, started this place just building up Jeeps. And is it just Jeeps you do? You do everything,
No,
right?
we do the UTVs, we got
What is this?
cars,
Oh, jeez.
fun stuff.
Everything I ever see here is like on the extreme. It's not just like coilovers. It's like, I don't even know what that is. It looks like a space alien. Like,
Triple bypass and
bypass.
coilovers, and you can see this one off of my guys here, the Blazer, that is all TIG welded suspension all the way through, one off shit all the way through on it. It's a
this thing's
little monster too.
This is some flex. This is some like crazy, insane. Wow. And your guy here built this?
Yeah, built it all up from the floor up, man. You know, just cut it, and then here's another one over here. Like there's a Toyota, you know, that has been done. There's another JL right here.
Oh, what?
yeah, we're getting ready to take a lot of that suspension off and doing 3.0s and.
You're taking this suspension. This suspension ain't good enough for Redlands Motorsports.
Taking it off and upgrading them into some go fast
Yeah?
suspension, yeah.
That's one thing about you I notice is like, you not only want to be able to like climb up pretty much anything, but like
Go for it,
the
too.
first time I rode with you in a Jeep, I'm like, why are we going so fast? We were doing like 70 miles an hour in this like insane dirt section that in my pickup I wouldn't do over 20 in. And he just was, everything was right over
Smash
it. So
it,
it's
yeah.
not just about the rock crawling, it's about the go fasting as well for you guys.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's extremely
Did you walk through the white one pretty good? Yeah.
Yeah, walk through the white one when you were showing it to your buddy. I don't know what I'm looking at, but it was
Well,
pretty.
we can go in there and take a look.
Do a
and
little
then
walkthrough. Look at that truck. Okay, here we are. This is Josh.
Hi.
Rob is making money. Okay, so he's gone. This is Josh, who built this.
Yep.
Rob says he built 20% of it, and but I don't believe that. I think he built this. So we're gonna start ass to front. And first off, what is this build?
It's a 2015 Jeep JK, and we kind of just did everything. So suspension is completely scrapped from factory to a full Gen Ride build. It's got an LT4, a 10-speed transmission, Atlas transfer case, big Curry 70 axles, 35-gallon gas tank, giant battery in the back, 2 air compressors. The list goes on. It's got everything.
Okay, you said some things I don't know what they are. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna turn this down.
Yeah. If you need to.
Just do that.
Yeah.
What's an LT4?
LT4 is the current Camaro motor with a supercharger on top.
You put a supercharged V8 in this.
Yes.
Why would people want that?
Why not?
Awesome answer. When you say everything to this, like what was the guy's kind of method? Like he just wanted, in his opinion, the ultimate Jeep?
Yeah, pretty much. This Jeep was already built once. It had cool parts on it. It had a supercharger on the V6. It had a long arm. It had cool axles in it. And then he said, I want to go as far as I can go. And this is pretty much it.
Wow. Okay, so starting from the front, well, suspension. First off, what are these wheels and
These
tires?
Are KMCs, KMC beadlocks with a 42-inch Maxxis trap.
So what's the deal with the locking hub? I see some guys have the locking, some don't. Is there a benefit to having locking hubs?
It's just, it's more, to me, it's more of a sure thing. So I lock my hubs, I know that they're locked. If there's a vacuum operated system, like in a Super Duty, or an electronically operated system, like in another truck, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. This, I know it works every time.
And then what are these shocks?
Fox 3-inch internal bypass. I believe that's a 12-inch shock.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fox or King? The debate, because you have some King builds and then I see some Fox
both,
builds.
so I'm gonna say both.
Okay.
They both do really cool stuff. One does cool things that the other doesn't do, and vice versa. So they both work. At this point, realistically, in this time that we're dealing with post-COVID, all the supply chain and all that stuff, whatever's available, really.
Yeah, gotcha. Now under here, this is not your normal axle.
Nope.
What is this?
That is a Curry 70.
Curry 70. Jesus, please. It's like, is this like the size of like an HD? Or something
Bigger.
like that?
So
it's
like
bigger.
in a Super Duty, you get a 60. This is a 70. This is the next step up.
Jamming Christmas. That's insane. Wow. Yeah. What's the bumper?
The bumper is Gen-Rate.
Okay.
Whatever.
Gotta have the winch, or he might not ever need that for himself ever.
10,000-pound winch, yeah, for pulling other people out.
Exactly. Like that was Rob. Rob rescued our buddy Ali, who I was telling you about with the Jeep.
Okay. Yeah.
And Ali, on my birthday trip, I wish I had a camera back then, but on my birthday trip, this really gnarly section, I was on my motorcycle in front of everybody, and all I heard was, "Sorry guys, I ran out of talent." And I come back, and it was a gnarly recovery, but where Rob put his Jeep for the recovery it's over on Ollie's channel. Go check it out. So So you've got quite a few other, what's this?
That is a PSE power steering fluid reservoir. So this motor does not come with a power steering pump. This motor is meant to work with an electronic power steering pump. So we had to figure out bracketry and everything to put a belt-driven power steering pump in here to drive the power steering out of the box, and then also the ram assist under here to help turn the big tires.
Oh, wow.
So now it's a full PSE system. Big reservoir, has lots of fluid, pump works great, power's enough to run the box as well as the ram.
Gotcha. Coming back here, what are these? Is that a power slider?
Yeah, so it's a Rock Slide Engineering rock slider that has a step. It's not turned on right now.
Not on. So this will act as a slider, but also as a step.
Correct.
I'm gonna need that on my truck.
Got it.
Yeah. My other question, what is all this back here?
So speaker box, there's a giant battery housed in here. We took the battery out of the front to eliminate a lot of the wiring issues we had under the hood. It gets kind of sloppy under there when you're running the compressors. This has 2 ARB compressors, 2 S-pods, and all of that stuff is now back here behind the seat. If we go inside here, so back here, all of the electronics are housed as well as the compressors. So there's 2 dual ARB compressors, 2 S-pod switch panels back here, as well as breakers and fuses for everything else.
That's another level right there, man.
Yeah, we wanted to get everything out of the front so that the engine compartment is just the engine. So all that stuff's up there, all this stuff's back here. Separates everything. There's also breakers back here, so there's a breaker back here. If something happens back here, we're not sending heat and electricity up to the front. There's also a breaker under the hood, so if something happens up there, we're not sending that back here. Everything, we try to make it pretty redundant so that we're not burning the truck to the ground.
Solid. Something I noticed about all of Rob's Jeeps is they bump. Like, he has insane stereo systems, and I was always like, why you got such crazy stereos? And he's like, come with me. And it was rad. And I guess a lot of his friends have done that.
That's
so you always
got to
dope
have
stereo
and everything. Yeah, so we got a speaker box back here, speakers here, full sound system throughout, 2 amps under, 1 amp under each seat. So
that takes me back to my childhood. I used to go to the swap meet and buy the Rockford Fosgate boxes, and make our own little stereos in our trucks. It was cool.
All in there.
Back here, what's the axle setup and suspension?
It's another 70, keeping everything big. We got R1 brakes throughout the whole thing, pushing from a Willwood master cylinder, so everything is kind of the biggest we could get in here without,
And then the gas tank, how'd you do that? That's
gas
a big gas tank for a Jeep.
It's a Genrite gas tank that bolts right in. We have to cut out a few cross members, but with doing the Genrite suspension system, we cut the cross members out anyway. So we put their cross members back in, and it leaves room for the gas tank, and now we have 35 gallons of gas.
That's amazing. So I'm gonna pause here. So with Redlands Motorsports, what is it that brings people here? So I was out on the trail for my birthday with Rob, and I was on the motorcycle, he was in the Gladiator, and we came across a bunch of people. One of the guys had broken down Jeep from another shop who we not speak of in Southern California area that's very popular. And Rob's like, here's what happened, here's why it keeps happening to you, here's how I can fix it. Why don't you come in, I'll take care of you, man. But what kind of clientele base are you usually getting to come in here? Kind of what makes you guys' builds different than others?
We get a little bit of everything. We get anything from your basic just lift kits and tires to something like this. It's a full build that the guy says, I want to do everything, and we do it all. Rob's got experience. He's been doing this for a long time. He's seen the things that break, and a lot of us have been in off-road for a while. I used to do class 1 cars, trophy truck stuff, some hot rod stuff. So we've all kind of had our experiences with what breaks. When it breaks, how do you fix it? All of this stuff breaks. You can build the coolest whatever with all the most badass parts on it, but something is going to break. There has to be a weak link somewhere. We try to put that in kind of a strategic spot that we know, okay, this is gonna break. Cool, we broke a U-joint and an axle. We still have 3 wheels to get off the trail. Whereas you know, if we don't go through and do drive lines where we need to, that we figured out, even with a 3.5-inch lift, you have to replace the front drive line. If that drive line goes bad, or if both drive lines go bad, you're stuck on the trail. So we try to, you know, mitigate being stuck and try to leave ourselves an out and figure out what's the best way to get to where we want to be, but also be able to get home. That's always been kind of a big thing for me, just personally, is like, what am I going to be able to fix on the trail because this stuff breaks? If somebody's going to sell you something and tell you this is never going to break, they're full of shit. Things break. Everything breaks. It always breaks. Look at race cars, look at hot rods, look at anything. Regular cars, they all break. Cars break. So what are you going to be able to fix? What's going to be the easiest way to fix it? And what's going to get you home? So we try to keep that stuff in mind, and yeah, just don't build shit.
Don't build shit. Speaking of the S word, can we take a quick look at your little sexy beast out there?
Yeah, sure. Let's check it out.
Let's go check that thing out. We've already seen real quickly this thing. What is this?
It's a 94 GMC Jimmy. It's the last year of the square body style. I'm kind of partial to the square body style. This is probably my 7th S Series vehicle that I've owned in my life.
Really?
But this has a special place in my heart. I've wanted one of these for a really long time, and it was finally time. So it's got Super Duty axles under it, 3-link in the front, 4-link in the rear, 2.5-inch coilovers, and it does all the stuff I want it to do.
And you, like Rob said, you built this all yourself, like full on one-off custom welding.
Yeah,
everything.
stripped the frame down to nothing suspension-wise and kind of started from scratch. I got some builder parts from Barnes, a little bit of rough stuff in there, and just kind of went to it. I told myself from the beginning that I was going to TIG weld everything, so everything on here is TIG welded, and yeah, it was up in the air for about 9 months doing suspension stuff. Hit the ground, and then that was probably a year and a half ago, and I've just been kind of picking away at the list ever since.
I love your customized, you know, like just for clearance, you know.
Yeah.
This whole, I mean, that might cut you, but oh no, it won't actually. But you know, just who needs all that other fancy stuff?
Yeah,
most of
the fender had to go away. The axle came forward about 8 inches to clear the 40s away from the firewall, and just kind of get my approach angle where I wanted it. So. Yeah, a lot of stuff had to get cut out, but that's fine.
Where has she been so far?
We've been up to Big Bear a couple times, and then out to Hammers this past year.
Oh, you hit Hammers with it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, did everything I wanted it to do, and still got a long way to go, but it's getting there.
So they're gonna fix it over Gerber. Probably need a rock slider bar on there so it doesn't have to be. All right.
Oh. I mean, this is like about 6 foot. Yeah.
So the ramp is 32 inches. It'll do 46 before it picks another wheel off the ground.
It'll do 46 inches. What will yours do, Rob?
Here it is.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is okay. We just gotta go. We're gonna have to. Rob's testing things here. Yeah. So you guys have seen this one already. Did you help build this guy too?
I did not. This was built before I got here, but I have had the pleasure of working on it a few times. I don't know if I call it a pleasure, but I've gotten to work on it a few times. We're, you know, slowly going through some stuff and cleaning up.
When's he doing an engine, bro?
It's on the list.
It is?
He's in line. He's got a LT4 sitting out back waiting to go in it. So
nice. It's well, this is crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't suck. Person buying a Jeep for the first time, what's the first thing they should do to it?
go drive it.
See what you need?
Yeah. Break something and replace it with something better.
I like that. I like that mentality.
Kind of like that question, and I don't know if I should say this one. Test drive it. All right? You can delete that out. But
We're gonna
wrap this
Rob
up.
just said something really funny.
Well, come on.
But
Drive it like you stole
the
it.
point is there, get it out and drive it and use the thing and then you will find things you want. That's the way, that's the case, the way it's been for me. Like with my truck is like, I find that like, I don't really want to go do that with this. But I do need to do this. Okay, you need to start looking at ... you know, so. And then some things I've been like, I can wait till the next build.
Right.
Like the lift and the tires and things like that. It's like, I want to do it. I don't need it on this truck yet. But for the next truck that I know I'm going to have for 7 years,
Right.
it's something
This
I
is on
definitely
the
want to
list.
do. Yeah, 100%.
It's like anything you customize, like a vehicle, a firearm. If you go buy a firearm, you go shoot it, and then you figure out what you want to change about it, and you do that, and then you take it to the range, and you do the same thing. It's the same exact thing with a vehicle.
Yeah, because
You drive it, you figure out what you want to be better, what you want to be different, what's going to break. You fix those things, and then you just move on, and it goes on forever. It never
for
ends.
that guy in the black
That's awesome.
to come in.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rob, for letting me come and
Thanks
hang
for
out here,
coming.
brother. I'm going to go shovel snow. I'll shovel snow in your front yard, too, if it's there.
It's melted.
It's melted. Okay.
melted.
Yeah, that was me.
But if you see any in the
If I see
corners,
any, I'll get it.
Yeah.
It'll be
grab it
out.
up, you know.
So,
Find some
guys,
silver bullets in the ice. So.
check out Redlands Motorsports. I'm going to link all their information down below. They have there's some cool things you did on your Insta-Grizzle lately on that white
Yeah.
Jeep. There's cool little details, things in there like
And
that.
did you see the custom cage going, generate cage
I
going in
did.
the white one?
I did. That was dope.
Yep.
But guys, check out their stuff. If you're in the Southern California area, or even if you're not, like, you can work with anybody anywhere, right?
Yep.
Like, because he does. And also, he has a rad crew of guys that go jeeping out in the Big Bear, Arrowhead area as well. So get involved, check out the shop. See you guys on the next one.